Evening, everybody. It's Thursday. Welcome to Ben's Brick Designs. I'm Ben. Thanks for being here. Hi, Kodiak. How are you? Happy Thursday. Happy last day until Friday and then the weekend. Hope everybody's doing well. I don't have a lot to go over tonight. Tonight's beer is Shiner S'more Chocolate and Marshmallow Ale. I'm very excited about this. This is it came in a cold front 6-pack, including a cold brew and the one of their like a dark lager. It's one of my favorite things they do when they do the cold fronts. What's up, Brad's Life? Thanks for being here, guys. So I am going to build while I talk about the crap that's happened the past week. I'm going to go ahead and turn this down. Yes, we have water. So for those who weren't aware, last week, starting a week ago, like Monday or Tuesday. What's up, Cy? The U.S. got a polar vortex. Real quick, this is what I'm going to do tonight. I'm building a microfighter Tidarium shuttle, a Lambda class shuttle, and Star Scavenger. So rebuilding, because I've already built them and taken photos, but I needed something to do tonight and I didn't get a set or anything ready for tonight. If I run out of time, I've got this guy from I think last year and I've got this guy from this year, so we can bust these open if we get to that. Both of these sets that I'm going to do tonight are available on Rebrickable. Links down here to Rebrickable. Yeah, so Cy may not be aware of what's going on because he is across the pond. But we lost the whole of the United States basically got a polar vortex and just basically winter weather, right? But in Texas, we got hit pretty bad. And of course, it looks like I'm buffering on Twitch pretty bad. Anyway. So we, Texas got hit really bad to the point where the power grid was literally minutes away from going completely out. It started with, hey, things are going to be bad. There's going to be rolling blackouts. Be careful of your pipes freezing. Stuff we've heard before. But I'm going to do this real slowly, so if you watch later, you can build along with. So nothing we hadn't heard before when winter comes. And keep in mind, this is Texas, so this isn't known for winter weather, right? Parts of the state are. They've seen winter weather before. But the level of this kind of took people by surprise. So over the course of like a week, we got a freezing rain, which iced everything. It basically shellacked, laminated everything in like a ½ inch of ice. And then it snowed about 6 inches of snow on top of that, which is almost unheard of, especially in Austin. And then on top of that, the next, like a couple days later, then it rained again and froze on top of that snow. So that's what the weather did. So this all happened, and then the power outages started. Actually, our power outage didn't start first. We lost water first because we our water system, the pump for the water system, lost power. So there wasn't anything pumping into. Get one of these. Go right here. Get 2 of those. And get yourself another one of these right here. So let's get all this around. So the the water pumping dropped. So that was the first thing we noticed. So we started like boiling snow and gathering big pots of snow and ice from outside, and just kind of getting ready. And then a couple hours later, we lost power. So we were lucky in that cheers. Again, this is a Shiner S'more. Chocolate and marshmallow ale. We were lucky in that we only lost power for like 2 nights. So it was like we lost it, and then the next night we lost it, and then in the middle of the night it came back. And it flickered a couple times, came back, lost it, came back. And then we had it for good a couple days later. Our house only got down, and meanwhile the temperature outside was like record lows. Like it had got down to like 0 degrees in Austin, right? 0 degrees, 6 inches of snow, a bunch of ice. So it was kind of scary. Normally, I want weather like this. Like I'm a good old mountain boy who likes cold weather and snow, and so this was fun at first. I'm like, yay, we get snow. But then it turns out that people started dying because they lost power and water. We had friends who had lost power for upwards for up to like 80 hours. So like 4.5 some days. And some people lost water for about that long too. So it was really, really terrifying. So we're going to cover the rest of those with boat bottoms. And they lived in apartments where they really didn't, they weren't able to do anything about it. They didn't have gas coming into heat. They didn't, anything like that. We lucked out because we have a gas stove top, so we were able to boil water. We could cook. In boiling all the water, we had that on, so it was keeping everything kind of warm. And we had a couple pets that we could snuggle up with and keep things warm. Yeah, so, I mean, in New Jersey, that's expected. It's the eastern seaboard. It's a little farther north. You're expecting to get some snow. And if this were Colorado, I would be expecting that too. You're just not expecting it to the level that we got it here. So get some of those 1x1 pips. Nothing special about them. They're not hollow or anything, just right there. So then what happened, and some of these pieces are real garbage. Like you can tell this is a garbage piece, so it's going to be internal. After everybody started losing water, is that now you can't get anywhere because the roads are garbage. And of course, Austin doesn't have the infrastructure to salt or sand very much. They don't have plows. So, I mean, it was just a perfect storm of a perfect storm. And, yeah, some of these are just so bad. Some of these pieces. I don't want to spend the time to go get new ones. I'll just do this later. So people were stuck. People were cold. Our house got down to 48 or 49, which for one night isn't bad. For multiple nights, you start worrying about hypothermia and stuff if it gets cold, right? We were able to keep bundled up. Everybody's got blankets. A few of our friends had like 0 degree sleeping bags. We weren't really in any danger. It was just super inconvenient. But there were people who were in obvious danger. So it was really troubling. We did get some groceries before this all happened, so we weren't really in any danger of losing or of going hungry or anything like that. But then the water wasn't coming back on, but the snow started melting. So our concern was that... How come this isn't working now? Oh, there we go. I must have a blank one in there somewhere. The concern was that we would lose water and then the ability to melt ice and snow and not really have any water. Because we didn't have jugs of water. We had a few... We had like 10 or so bottles of water and then 2 gallons of water. But we were going through that pretty fast. Because you got to brush your teeth. We were boiling water to take showers. So it was a little chaotic. We're all good now. When the water came back, we had a boil water ordinance. So we did that for like another day. And then yesterday everything got lifted. So we're good. It's going to be a while till we can go to the grocery store and they have stuff. We tried going to the grocery store and they didn't have a whole lot of anything. Try to get that to focus. So we've got a couple of slopes and a tile there. I'm going to repeat that on the other side. So it was a little harrowing, I will say that, but everybody here, at least all my friends, my family have recovered. A family member / friend of ours actually had to go to the hospital. She was having some issues related to a surgery that she was going to need anyway, but the condition worsened, and it worsened while the roads were basically impassable and all the power and stuff was out. So they had to go to the hospital and stay overnight, which was just terrifying. Like, the whole family was freaked out. But she's okay. She's had her surgery. She's not... she's physically, I think, doing okay. It was just terrible. It was just a really, really awful thing. So, and if you've read the news, then I'm sure everybody's aware about the fact that we are in Texas, and there's 2 tiles on the sides there. Wish this would focus a little better. We have like the worst government of any state, except for maybe Florida or Alabama or Alaska, for all I know. I don't know. It's terrible. We had a senator who fled to Cancun, to Mexico, and then claimed it was and then threw his daughters under the bus, saying no, they wanted to go to a birthday party down in Mexico, or they wanted to go to a party or something in Mexico. So I was going to be a good dad and take them. It's like, that's just the worst reason. So not only were you caught, you're also blaming your children. So if you have the newer jumper plates, I would highly recommend them. Not these ones that are flush. Get the ones that have the lip here. They're just easier to take off. We have a governor who, and attorney generals and lieutenant governors who are siding with the whole reason there was such a problem with the power is that the power companies here are deregulated. So that means that on top of being able to kind of do whatever they want and charge whatever they want, and they're kind of above the law a little bit, like the Supreme Court can't go after them for things. They also do not interlink with other grids, other power grids. So when Texas had this problem, basically it was just Texas's problem. And they weren't able to then say, hey, Louisiana power grid, hey, Missouri power grid, hey, Colorado or New Mexico power grid, or wherever else, other kind of federally helped power grids. They weren't able to interconnect with them and kind of get some power to where they needed to be. So they tried doing rolling blackouts, but because there was such a drain on the system, they were apparently literally like 4.5 minutes from the entire grid failing. And apparently there was just enough non-use on the grid that they were able to recover. So, I mean, there was all kinds of problems. There was like the downtown skyline was brightly lit while right next to the highway on the east side, people were freezing to death. You know, it's like, you know, we all understood that like hospitals need to stay on grids, EMS and stuff needs to stay on grids. We get that, but it's just why do all these skyscrapers need to be lit up? You know, gonna do the wing now. This next step here is for a single, if you have it, 1x3 by 3 or by 5 or whatever brick, but you can get away with doing a couple 1x1s. So that all happened. Most probably food probably spoiled and got thrown away, as the generators in supermarkets only has enough for a few coolers and freezers. Oh yeah. We were lucky enough that, so our fridge went out and it got down to about 40, you know, high 40s, 50s in the house. So it wasn't warm, but it wasn't really food safe cold. But we were able to throw most of whatever we had either in a cooler outside or just outside, just in the snow. And everybody was like, yeah, here's all the reasons why you shouldn't do that. And it's like, you know, if it comes back up, it'll spoil. We're like, it's going to be, it didn't get up above 20 degrees for like 4 days, if longer. So it was kind of like, shut up. Luckily, we didn't have anything spoil. We don't think. We ate it all, so, and I'm still here. That's a gross old gray piece, too. So anyway, that happened. But we're all recovered, and everything's fine. The boil water notice is lifted. I think all my friends survived. There's going to be kind of a reckoning for the... for ERCOT and Encore and all the... In the middle of all this, we all wanted to make sure that, like, the line workers weren't... There were people getting mad at, like, the line workers who were out trying to help fix lines and stuff. And people were like, why? It's not their fault, you know? Okay, what's next? So we got that cut out slow piece there. So then Monday rolls around, and I had put in a couple of orders for Lego before this all really happened. And I had done it on Facebook Marketplace. And I'm going to go ahead on record and say that I'm never ordering anything off Facebook Marketplace again. I had put in 3 orders. One order was for, and they were all Star Wars Lego related. So it was like General Grievous's ship, and the Night Buzzard, and the Sith TIE Fighter, right? The Dorito winged Sith TIE Fighter. And one of them I put in the order like back on the 9th, so it's been a while. And like 2 days later it says it's shipped, but I never got a shipping number. So I finally waited, you know, and I totally forgot about it because of everything that happened. And in the middle of it all, I messaged the seller and was like, hey, Facebook never got me gonna need 4 of these. Oh God, I wish this encoder was better. I messaged the guy, and it took a while to get back. In the meantime, I found another local person who was selling the TIE Fighter. And I said, hey, is this still available? And they said, yes. And I said, okay, now here's my problem. This is my problem. I didn't wait until I got the item or that I saw the person. Because up until this point, I'm used to then saying, okay, well, what's your PayPal address and meet me at this place. So I sent them money and I went down to the place. Well, they never showed up. My fault. That was dumb. I get it. I posted a bunch of this stuff on Reddit and everyone's like, well, there's your problem. Like, I know that's my problem. Now my problem is I'm just out this money. And they're like, yeah, you are, because you're an idiot. So the dude never showed up. First of all, the communication was really spotty and I should have known better, but they were like, they dropped a pin in Facebook Messenger and was like, here. And I'm like, okay. I was like, is 5:30 okay? And they're like, yeah, that's great. Thumbs up for sure. And I'm like, all right, we got a thing going. So I go down and they never show up, right? So we wait till like 6:10. He's not answering Facebook Messenger at all, right? Ever since he dropped the pin and everything, didn't hear from him again. I'm like, well, I just got taken, right? My fault. So I got home and I was like, all right, dude, well, I didn't, I'm going to give you till tomorrow, but then I'm going to dispute this PayPal thing, right? So I waited and waited and waited. And right before I went to bed, I disputed the PayPal. I went on PayPal and said, dude never showed up. I never got the thing. Can I get my money back? Well, turns out you can't, because basically PayPal transactions like this are considered cash. And there's no... All right, so here's what I've been doing. Kind of messed up. Put some claws in there, and then 1x2 plate and 1x2 tile. Encoding overloaded. I can't turn down video settings. I don't know how I'm supposed to turn that down any more than they are. If anybody knows what is going on with this camera, I've got a Logitech HD 1080p camera, and I've got it turned down to like some stupid resolution, but the encoding keeps freaking out. So I don't know what's going on with this. What's up, Clown King? So I went rounds with, and so I contacted the guy again. So anyway, I'll back up. He, I don't want this music right now. Sorry, yo. That may be a little better. So, after I report it, I wake up the next morning and find out that like at 1 a.m, he had sent me a tirade about how I took the Lego set and then put a hold on the money. And I'm like, that's not at all what happened. You didn't show up. And he's like, he literally ended the sentence with, give me my money, bitch. And was swearing. And if he's like, you think this and you think that and MF or this and all this kind of stuff. I'm like, holy crap. Like, he was literally threatening me. These, if you can get any light gray ones of these, great. If not, the dark gray ones. And you can see it's 2 different dark gray colors. I need to get a different dark blue gray and dark gray. So the light gray ones are really expensive, but the dark gray ones are easier to find. So I'm like, whoa. I'm like, okay, well, here's the thing. You never showed up. I was like, and I messaged him, I'm like, you never showed. So, and then of course he never sees that message, never responds to it. So I respond via the PayPal dispute. And I'm like, okay, I'm sorry that you think that I wasn't there, but I was with my wife. She can witness it. You weren't there. You didn't show. We waited for a half hour. You didn't show. And I'm out $40. So what do you want from me now? And of course he doesn't respond. So he tells the same story in the Facebook or in the PayPal dispute, to which I respond, okay, it's really easy. You have my money. I can let go of the dispute right now. If you just I drove down to the other side of town to meet you and you didn't show up. And we had agreed to a time and a place. I'm going to see what's going on with the slideshow. Are there broken ones inside the... I don't want to worry about it now because I think I have to restart. be able to make any changes. I was like, if you want to run it up to, and I didn't want to give the dude my address because I was like, well, this person's unstable and likely a scammer. I was like, if you want to deliver it or just drop it off at my house, I'll let go of the dispute. It's no problem. But I gave you money and you didn't give me a product. That's what it amounts to. Neither my bank nor PayPal could do anything about it. I've reported the seller to Facebook. That's the most I can do. I'm like, well, balls. So in the meantime, I've got these other 2 sales or purchases on Facebook. And the one dude hasn't responded since like February 11th. And I get it. There's been a bad winter storm across the country. But I'm like, oh God, I'm going to get taken on all these, right? And the other 2 were shipping. You know, one of them was in Vegas and one of them was in Indiana. So I was like, oh God, okay. So I messaged both of them. I'm like, all right, look, I get that the weather's been bad. And then I found out on Reddit that there's been a glitch in showing the shipping information to the buyer. So the one lady was like, yeah, this is a problem. Here's your tracking number. You know, I've sent it. It's in the mail. And I'm like, okay. And I checked the tracking number. It should be here in a couple days. I'm like, all right, cool. The other guy didn't respond at all for a while. And then today, responded and was like, I was running into a problem with another buyer who said that there was something wrong with what I sent them and put up, you know, basically disputed it with Facebook and put a hold, which basically put a hold on all my Facebook funds, which means I can't ship anything right now because I'm at like negative funds in that. I'm like, shipping's like $5, dude. Come on. You know, it's like you charged me $5 or $6. You don't have $5 or $6 you can ship this? I'm like, okay. I'm going really fast here. Sorry. So here's tile. Some of these guys in the back. And then you get one more of these 1x2s right there. He's like, if you want... He's like, I'm really sorry this happened. I'm unable. I've got like 6 other orders that I can't send because all my money's tied up in this, and I can't spend the money on shipping because on any of these because all my money's tied up with this dispute. He's like, I understand this is a problem. I'm just letting you know. I'm totally upfront about this. He's like, but if you just want to PayPal me instead of going through Facebook Pay, I can send it to you right away. And I was like, huh, all right. Well, I said, I'm going to go. And I like responded immediately, right? Like I saw it come up and I don't know how much this needs to, don't think that much, maybe that much. We'll see. I forget how much. I responded immediately. I'm like, dude, I'm a little gun shy because of the thing that happened to me recently. I was like, I don't really feel comfortable doing that. And I'll tell you why. I was like, if all you need is the shipping, I can PayPal you the shipping, which is like $6, and you can send it to me. And then whenever your dispute with Facebook is cleared up, excuse me, you can, you'll have my money. It's like, you have to look at it from my, and of course he said the other people I've talked to, they say they're fine with this. I'm like, well, those people are idiots because I'm not fine with this. I was like, I'm not going to get taken twice by some stupid scam. I was like, I can wait until you're done disputing with Facebook, but it's up to you whether you feel that you need to hold on to money just to be able to ship something. I was like, it's your call. I can help you out with the shipping if that's really what you need. Otherwise, I'll just wait until it's done. And then if I don't hear from you in like 2 weeks, then I'll just dispute this one and get my money back. So I'm like, if I don't hear from him, and of course I do this like right away and he doesn't even look at it. So I'm like, you know what, just tomorrow I'm just gonna say, no, I just want a refund. Just refund it. I don't want to have to deal with it. But man, this is like the worst. And of course I reported all of this to Facebook. I'm like, look, I've got 3 different orders. None of them are giving me tracking information. One of them isn't responding at all. One of them just stole money from me. And I couldn't get anything from my bank or PayPal. I was like, what kind of garbage are you running here? And I've reported all of them, or I reported 2 of them already. All right, so we got that. So that's what I'm dealing with right now. Not to mention the fact that I ordered... I am just not... Twitch is... It's not showing up for Twitch at all. I'm so stuck. Is Twitch just garbage, or is it just my stream isn't getting through to it? Because I've just been stalled on Twitch right now. Anyway, I probably need to shut this off. Help my connection. So anyway, if I don't hear from the dude in like a day, I'm just gonna report it and just say, I just want my money back. I can't deal with 2 of these. So, but it's, you know, and all I wanted was a couple sets that I felt were not, you know, they were Star Wars sets that were like $80 for 400 pieces. I'm like, I don't want to pay that. I think they're worth 50. When I found a couple of them, you know, I was like, these need to be light blue, by the way, not this like medium blue, but I don't have any of these, so I've got some on order. So if you're doing that, if you're building along at home, if you want to do just one, that's cool too. I think I've already talked about this. I like the brake right there because there's supposed to be 2 different engines. So I'm just bummed because I'm probably going to be out about $100. And no recourse at all. Just none. So the one dude that basically stole the money from me, and if you're out there, dude, you know who exactly the fuck you are. Don't come at me thinking that I stole from you. I can walk my camera around this house. Ain't no set here. So I reported it to IC3, which is the Internet Crime Unit. Basically, if you get taken in some internet transaction, you can file it there, and it's like an FBI thing. So I'm like, yeah, I mean, here's his name. He's in Austin. Here's the link to the site. I got him, you know, it was basically a Facebook transaction, and yeah. And you know, here's what I was telling Beth, and we were talking about it. If he really wanted to steal from me, that's fine. I'm going really fast. So we got a 3, and we got 2 of these corners, and we got a couple brackets. He obviously needs the $40 more than I do if he's doing this to get it, right? I'm okay losing $40 for doing something stupid like not paying attention. And that's an okay place to be in. But at the same time, like if you just ghost me, that's one thing. But threatening me, I'm like, do you really need to do that on top of everything else that's going on? Like, you've already stolen from me. And if I hadn't heard back from him, I would have been like, oh, well, I guess, you know, buyer beware. But then he came after me like that. I'm like, no, you know what? I'm sick of the internet police on you. I felt like calling the actual cops, but they wouldn't have done anything. There's nothing they would have done. I've been like, what? You lost $40 to the internet? So this is a step that's a little weird. Because you have to put this here and then put this on top of it. Should just do it like that. piece first. And then that piece. Yeah, it's... Yeah, the FBI, the internet, that's basically it. And yeah, I'm to the point where I'm just going to stick to Bricklink and Lego and Amazon. That's it. Unless somebody knows me personally and is like, hey, I've got some stuff I can sell you. Or it's a member of our lug or something. That'd be all right. But I don't think I'm going to do this or Craigslist or eBay or anything anymore. It's just... It's too much of a hassle to have the onus on the buyer to make sure that the buyer doesn't get taken. It's like it's hard enough shopping for the deal, but then you also have to worry about not getting bamboozled. eBay... See, if they're private sellers on eBay, it's just as bad. They could send you a box of hair, and if you paid with PayPal... You paid in cash, basically, and there's almost nothing they'll do about it. Sits on there like that. So there's this guy. Now, normally the pilot would be the shuttle pilot. I think this may be even a first officer. All I have is this Imperial officer. But if you've got one of the black shuttle pilot guys, use that. I've got one on order. He sits at a weird little angle because the cockpit's at a weird little angle. And I have... They do have buyer protection, but it's such a problem. The fact that they have buyer protection is garbage. So I built a little stand. This is indoor. With the radar shield generator there. So there's only one space to hook it up on the bottom. So there you go. There's your Tidarium shuttle, Lambda class shuttle on indoor. Cool. All right, next. Well, that's the thing. On Facebook, I looked at, like, they had a real profile. They've had a real profile for years. They had a couple hundred friends. They'd sold a bunch of stuff. Their seller rating was pretty good. There was no reason for me not to trust what I was looking at. And that's the part that really bothers me. It's like, are they able to fake it so much that they can do that? Oh, God, I just can't handle the noise. I may need to change my channel. Harris Heller's been very good to me lately, but I think I need to get something a little more chill. All right, so this one's the Star Scavenger. I know nothing about this one because it's from a show that I'd never want to see. Yeah, a lot of these parts, Brad, are not hard to find. They're pretty basic because most every part exists in white, right? This part may be a little expensive because it's a little older. The rest of these are pretty basic to find. Again, these are not going to... I'd like these to be in light gray, but they're expensive in light gray. These are expensive in white, so that's why I use that on here. But if you have white, great. It probably looks a little better. You don't have to use these corner bits here. You could use an actual, like, full 2x2 corner. It doesn't have to have that cutout on it. I just like that. That's pretty nice. I think everything else is pretty standard, so you shouldn't have too much problem getting those. All right, yeah, so the next one is the Star Scavenger. It's from the Freemaker Adventures, which was a Lego-only Star Wars. It's non-canon. It doesn't exist in canon. But it was a show about the Freemaker family, family of scavengers who are looking for some Kyber crystal. And along the way, I think they bump into Yoda like once. But then like their main bad guy is this dark Jedi named Steel or something. And then there's a robot that goes after him. His name is Mock which I thought was kind of cute. And then it's Rowan and like his older brother and sister, or his mom and dad, I forget. Apparently, it's got quite a following because there's a few people on Reddit who saw it and who were like, "Oh yeah, I really like that show. I missed that show." So I've got this and the Arrowhead ship as microfighters, but I built this one because I had Rowan Freemaker already. So I thought, well, I'll go ahead and build this one. It looks silly. I think I watched 1 or 2 episodes, and it's very Lego centric, right? It's built around the idea that it's not a Star Wars story told with Lego. It's a Lego story that happens to be in the Star Wars universe. So take that as you will. I don't think there's as much Lego like kind of building on the fly kind of thing, but I don't know. I haven't seen it a whole lot. I'll build this slow too. It's got some corner plates on there. One of these. Back half like that. On top of everything, I ordered the Porsche like the day it went on sale VIP, right? Which was, I don't know. It was at least a week ago, maybe more than a week ago. I think it was like 10 days ago or something. And like it's not available widely yet, but I ordered it like at 11 o'clock, midnight, 11 o'clock, the day it went available for VIPs, and it's delayed in shipping because everything's delayed in shipping right now. So put 3 of those on the bottom like that. It'll make sense later. So that's what I was, and they canceled the promo, right? So the gift with purchase promo thing was like this Porsche starter kit, which had like a like an owner's manual and a little thing, a booklet, and like all this stuff. You can get it overseas. Like there's people in the UK and Australia that got it, but not in the States. And because of the weather or something, I'm like, really? That's the dumbest reason. So yeah. So I was hoping that would be here by now. That's what I was going to do tonight. Which is why I did grab bag as the title of the thing, because I thought maybe at the last minute FedEx will drop it off, but it's one of these things where it says it's piece. It says it was delivered on the 20th, and then it says in transit, and I'm like, well, that ain't getting here anytime soon. I'm like, if it gets here within the next 2 weeks. Look how gross that one piece is. It's like a whole different color. Ugh. So considering everything that's going on, I am a little on the depressed side. It's kind of a bummer. Like nobody here has had a great week. And mine is all Lego related. But, frame of reference, that's all I've got. It's not all I've got, but that's what I'm working with. So this is going to be important, this tile right here. So I almost didn't stream tonight because I was just like, I don't want to talk about anything. I don't want to, I don't want to build anything. It's just kind of, ugh. But I'll tell you what I did later that got me back into it. So this is the unique part of this ship is I got one of these. And this also exists. Where'd he go? There he is. So I got another one of these as the engine block for the Rogue Shadow. You can see it stuck back in there. It's that trans blue wheel. And I thought I ordered a bunch of those to get that. Like you get one and you're like, well, while I'm at it, I'm going to order 10. But I didn't, apparently. Because the back engine part of this is like this rounded, like it's this scalloped sort of engine thing with like this strip of light blue, and that's the drive section, right? That's the engine. So I'm like, there's no piece like that that exists, so I kind of made it up. Same thing with this. There's a circular bridge. So this becomes like the viewport. That'll be the viewport of the bridge, and you'll see stuff stacked on top of that. What's up, Jeff? How goes, man? You miss the epicness of the tales up until this point. It's been fun. All right. I like using these pieces for things. There's a bantha, a chibi bantha, where somebody used to tan one of these as the mouth. Just genius. I love it. Gonna try to use this gross ass gray piece inside so nobody can see it. No, I'm not doing another BS day, that's for sure. I didn't even know there was a contest on ideas. I get the emails about all that, and then I just kind of delete it because, I don't know. I'm almost to the point, so I've been doing this almost 2 years now. The streaming and whatnot, and trying to get more involved in the broader community. And I've made small inroads and got some fans, got some friends. I knew some people before I started, so that's good. But lately I'm just like, I don't want to do this anymore, you know. I just kind of want to get my stuff sorted and pack it away. It's just one of those times, you know, we're a year into a global pandemic. I haven't seen my family a whole lot, or my friends, like anybody at this point. And then we were super isolated from everybody for like a week because of the storm. So now it's just really kind of heavy right here. So no, to answer your question. Oh, why did I pick just the worst grays? I don't think I can deal with these two. Let me be right back. Can I get some, bring the tray over here. I think I'm going to try to replace some of this because I can't tell sometimes. This room doesn't get a whole lot of light. During the day, and these washout lights only go so far. So I'm going to try to replace these garbage. It's a 3. Some nice ones. Now before you at me too much, I realize that the light gray instead of the light blue gray, they do have their uses. They're great for castles and beat up ships and stuff, but something this small, I don't necessarily want there to be a whole lot of oh, that's neat. Did that just crash? Way to go, Edge. Stupid browser. Alright, that feels a little better. Sorry, and I had to move away from the chat. Are you doing the Lego Ideas contest? So what is the contest? Out of this world space builds. I'm assuming that it's going to be won by somebody who's a genius at building. As it is. So this was here. Build a space thing, and it may become a promo. Oh, okay. It's like this. It's like the car. This guy. So build a spaceship version of that. Neat. I mean, I could build something that big, but I mean, so could anybody else. I don't know what I would bring to the table. but you know, I'll take a look. Oh, these I'm gonna use these later. So I also finished watching, or at least I'm up to date. I'm gonna get these two. I'm up to date on Attack on Titan. My son has been watching it, and I started watching it when it first came out, and really liked it, but then for whatever reason stopped watching it. And my son keeps saying, you know, are you caught up? Are you caught up? No, I'm not caught up. So I finally caught up. That show is so weird. It's like Elizabethan horror anime. It's so bizarre. It's got, you know, some good action and stuff in it, but it's some of it you're just like, oh my god, what just happened? Did they really just do that? And I should have known right off the bat when dude's mom got eaten. I am not spoiling anything. That literally happens in the first, like, minute of the show. See, I want more of these with the lip on it, but I don't have a whole lot of those. Probably should order some. These can go back in here. It must be an AM PM thing. When I'm listening to this like during the day at work, I don't get all this. Yeah, I might give it a shot. I would want to do it physically too, because I don't want to submit. I'm sure they're okay with digital designs, but I would like to do a physical one. So I'd be limited to the pieces I have, which isn't a lot of the pieces. Honestly, a lot of the good pieces I have lately are tied up in microfighters. That's gonna look weird. Let me get them spread out the same way. Why do you think I have an advantage, Jeff? Because I am a big old spaceship nerd? Or because I have access to 40 years worth of brick? I mean, you're not wrong. Those are two really good reasons, I guess, now that I think about it. Now that I've said it out loud. What possible advantage could I have over anybody? I mean... Alright. Still haven't filled these in yet. That's coming. Don't fret. We're not there yet, my friend. Oh, I build in smaller scale than most. That is very true. That mostly is because I am an impatient dude. And I like seeing finished products quickly. And if I don't see them, I get really bent out of shape. It's gonna be those two and those two. Those are gonna be three? Yeah. Like spending a day designing something and then spending a day getting the part order done and then waiting a week or so to get the parts. That's just too much. My brain's already gone onto 200 other projects. So this stack of wedge plates, if you can get a tan instead of a dark tan. That's what the instructions call for, but I didn't have those, and I thought dark tan would work just as well. So there you go. So do that twice. And those go here. See, I told you it would make sense in a second. Like so. How's the USC mock coming? I haven't worked on it since that day, but I've done a lot of dream planning, which helps me a lot, where I just sit there and as I'm dozing off to sleep, I will kind of go over what the next steps are going to be in my head and kind of prep for the next time that I work on it. And it usually helps get things jump started by really just kind of jumping in and getting, if you can get 2 or 3 things done right away, that's kind of like a success. And you don't feel like you're stymied just sitting there looking at it going, okay, what do I do next? So if you've got a couple things already mentally ready to kind of push through, you're like already ahead of the game. What's up, M Productions? How do you do that? Yeah, it's great. It serves two purposes. One is it helps me fall asleep because it kind of focuses your brain and it keeps the noise from overwhelming. But then also it helps you kind of kickstart the project the next time you work on it. And sometimes there are breakthroughs and sometimes there aren't. So do 2 of those. So this is basically that. And a couple of these biscuits, pucks. Somebody called these a hockey puck. I was watching Corridor Crew, and they called these 1x1 round tiles. They called them a hockey puck, or just a puck, which I thought was adorable. So do 2 of those. They go here. Like a soul. All right, Jeff. Take care, man. Have a good evening. Share those on either side. So this specific set, I don't know if anybody remembers. I think I was talking about this, I guess more than a week ago now. But this is the set where the dude on Mock Market had this model, and he was trying to sell it. He was trying to sell the instructions for it, and someone alerted me to that fact, and was like, "Yeah, this dude's trying to sell your stuff," and I was like, "Pardon? Beg pardon?" So these clips, I don't like these clips much. The newer ones that are, basically this shape with a flat back. I like the ones that are the flat back with it looks more like a claw coming in and it's not just kind of a C shape on top of it. These look like little hands that are holding onto something. The other ones look like they're proper structural things. But they're the old version, and they're harder to find, and they don't come in as many colors. So there you go. Yeah, the old ones don't have this gap, like between the tile and the clip, right? I could go get some, but yeah, everybody knows what that is. But I like this better. We got us a fishing reel and a 1x tile in dark blue. Do 2 of those. Oh, hi, kitty. You want to jump in that box? Yeah, I'm talking to you. Look at me like you don't know who I am. I'm the feed person. I'm the store. So these go right here. And one of these isn't very, that one. have a whole lot of clutch. They go on the side like that. And then the only time flick missile bar pins. What's up, Hushed? What's up, James? Looks like he has ninja hands. I like these bar pins, flick missile things as blasters. They work really well as blasters. So attach those like so. Got a 3x1 here. James, thanks so much for doing all the work you did on the lug bulk, as always. You are a Austin treasure. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. So do that. Got a Technic brick on a 2x3. And reason being is because this sits under here in that gap, but there's nothing for it to sit on. Like that. You know, I was gonna mention this the other day. I didn't order nearly as much stuff this time. Like, I don't think I got, and I know you had emailed me about it, I don't think I ordered the full $280 worth of stuff. Like, I was looking at it all going, do I need 300 of these or 500 of these? I really don't. I was trying to think practically, like, what would I use, what would I make with this? And I really couldn't this time, so I was just kind of like, well, I'll get some stuff, but the one thing I did find that the guy who stole the idea for this did better was this thing right here. And I may go back and change that, but I don't want to make it look like I took his idea. Because I still left it a little open, and I'll show you why here in a second. But instead of using this sort of scalloped slope, wedge slope thing, he used those 1x2 right and left angled slopes, and it looked a lot better than this, honestly, because the original one has like a printed slope right here that looks like the CIS droid head, so it looked pretty good. Oh, you got a big build you're working on? That's cool. Yeah, that's the one thing, like, I would have liked more tan and dark orange and stuff, but there just wasn't much this time, and I was like, well, I don't want to force it, so I just didn't get a whole lot. So I got a couple of these corner rounded, or I guess pizza slice tiles. Got there. Got one of these blue tiles here. Any of them which are like that, it's a deficit in my building skills. You mean the 1x2 right and left ones? I love those. I've used those on a ton of little, they're so great for little things. For big things, I don't know. I mean, unless you had a whole row of them, or they were kind of fanned out or something. The Statue of Liberty works really well with that, because they've got a bunch of them that are kind of angled up to kind of show the rippling of the cloth. That was a really good use of those. Oh yeah, these, I never use these for anything. I don't know why I chose it on this. I think this one was designed a long time ago, so I don't think at that point the scalloped bits had been in wide circulation yet. That's just a theory. But I've also redone this one a couple times, so I don't have the original file timestamp on it anymore. so I can't really tell. But I have a feeling that was the case. All right, got a couple more of those pizza pies in the back there in white. All right, again, I have listed in the instructions so we've got some ratchet hinges or click hinges. I have these listed as light gray in the instructions, but I don't have any, which is I thought was really weird that I didn't. I don't think they're that expensive, but if you find they are expensive, these are going to get covered up, so you can use whatever color you want. And you should be able to go down to like the second to last hinge on that. But we're not there yet. So we got a couple more of these Technic bricks. And this is the one failing of this, is I don't have anything that holds these 2 Technic bricks down. There's nothing that goes over that. Yeah, they would be pretty good roof tiles. I think if you were to, so I can get this off. I think if you were to stand them up, they would make good facades, right? Like if you put something else right here, like a couple of these tiles kind of on top of it, and then had like a couple of these like down in, as like the top of an arch or something like that. I bet that would look pretty good. More decorative, less functional. Yeah, these and the ones that are like, they look like the hood of a car, kind of. They're the same 2x2 footprint, but they've got like those grooves or bezels on the top kind of thing. I don't use those hardly for anything. I've used they come in smoky, like the trans black, and I've used them more in trans black than anything. But I've got a bunch of them in different colors. I just never use them for anything. Get you a dark blue cheese wedge in the middle there. And the thing is, if I had a bunch of them, I might use them for something. Like if I was building a big spaceship or a big building, and I needed a lot of one thing to make a greeble of some kind, then yeah, I could see using some of those to be like a rounded sort of vent configuration, or, you know, some sort of, like I said, front building facade thing, but just never really have. Am I missing? Oh, I'm not to that point yet. These panels too, it calls, I've got the instructions for the rounded corners, but if all you have are the perfectly cornered corners, then that's fine too. It doesn't really matter. Yeah, that's very true. You could like stack a bunch of them up kind of on top of each other. Very like roof tile, like you were saying. Nothing wrong with using that kind of stuff. Speaking of roof tiles and interesting uses, has anyone got the, is it the forge, the medieval forge? The one that was really, really super cool in the original design, and then the one that came out officially was kind of like a play school version of it. So the instructions also call for this plate, this wedge plate, to be light blue-gray, but again, I ran out. I had to make sure that they were the right colors up here, and so I ran out here. Yeah, I'm the same way. I'm waiting for it to be... my camel thing is not working great for Amazon. Like, the only time it trigger, I get really excited. So, we got a tile and another one of those there. I get really excited when it triggers and I get an email, and then I go check it out, and it's like, yeah, this dropped 3 cents. And I'm like, but I have it on here to tell me when it's 20% lower than this price. And it never does. And I don't know what I'm doing wrong with this stupid thing. I've got to get a better, like, alert thing for prices. Yeah, that's what I was thinking of, is the roof is very cool on it. I like when they do roofs with like 1x1 round bricks, like long sections of them. So I'm going to repeat the wing on the other side there. Ooh, my ears are ringing. Oh, speaking of my ears ringing, Beth and I were able to get our first vaccination shot on Monday. So we're very excited about that. So in another month, we'll be fully vaccinated. Alright, so you take this, put a light blue pip on it, put a dark gray pip on it, do that 3 times. Yeah, we're excited. And the exciting thing was, like, the day after. So we had an appointment. Then they said, hey, if you got an appointment on this day, you can come in earlier on the day before. And we're like, cool. And then they sent another email. So you've got these 3 holes on the back. Just put each of these into. But then we got another email that was like, oh, never mind on that first email. And we're like, well, we're going to pretend we didn't see that one, which is kind of a shitty thing to do, but we got our vaccine. But then we get home, and then the next thing we know is they're putting out another email saying that all the appointments for the next day, which is the day we had originally, were canceled. And we're like, wow, we're so glad that we got those when we did. Did I forget? Oh, yeah. Forgot a couple cheese wedges here. Right there. Cheese wedges. And then this is just a bit of greebling, but I take some of these hinges. Just the hinges without the brick part. And just put them under here. Just to give it a little something. So hopefully we'll be ready for the second one in, they said 28 to 42 days, whenever the second one becomes available. So there you go. There's your Star Scavenger. Now, if you notice how the seat is built, it's not a regular seat. It's because dude here has the unbendable short legs. So he just sits in here like so. So it looks like it's a regular size seat, but it's just him standing there. Now, I couldn't really find a whole lot about the planet. So or any planet to make a scene for it. So this is Nal Kapok. Nal Kapok. Like Nal Shada or something like that. I think it's a Hut-controlled world, but I don't know. With Nal in front of it, I would assume it's in Hut space somewhere. So this is the only one that I saw that had any relation to them in their story. So there's your Star Scavenger. What time is it? 9:13. All right. Leander Chamber of Commerce is doing it for employees of chamber members. Cool. Right on. I want to get mine, but everybody wants to get theirs, Brad. I understand that. But New Jersey can't figure out how to disrupt it or distribute it. All right, well, I'm done with that. So I'll pop this guy. I don't know. Should I leave these guys in boxes and bags? I don't really care if I build this or not. It's cute, though. It's got a lot of extra little pieces. Actually, yeah, I might open this so I can get all these extra little pieces. This I don't care as much about. We'll work on this for a few minutes. So, disruptive. Oh, yeah, so this is the next thing that's going to happen. I ordered, let me see if you can guess what this is going to be based off the color scheme. Tan and red and some gray. Let me know what you think that is. It's a starfighter. I'll give you one hint, and if nobody gets it, I'll give you one other hint. And then if still nobody gets it, then I'll just tell you. I will say that in some versions of the ship, it is kind of a dark tan. In some versions, you see it's dark orange, but in most cases, it's tan. Distribute. Couldn't get that word out, could you? That one was giving you problems. I've had this guy for a while, I think since last year. This was last year's Easter one. Limited edition. Oh, maybe I should have kept that in the box. Wookiee ship thing is the only thing I guess from Star Wars. There's a couple Wookiee ships. There's like the something class fast starfighter, fast Wookiee starfighters like Agar class or something. And then there's the one that actually came out as a microfighter. That was more of a, it was on Kashyyyk, like you could see it in the movie. It was one of those. And then there's another one that's like a slightly larger starfighter, but it's really obscure. Both of those are that color. Another one I did in that color was Dengar's ship, which was the punishing one. That was also in tan and some red. Oh, look at all these fun little I think this is pre-dots. Look at all them fun pre-dots things. Actually, no, we've had dots for a while because I remember a lug member had their kid was playing with dots a lot at meetings, and we haven't had meetings in a year. All right, so your first hint is that it's an Old Republic ship. So that's your first hint. It's Old Republic. And look, I've got actual printed instructions instead of digital instructions like I got over here. A sand speeder is incorrect. Lego actually did a microfighter sand speeder that was an exclusive, San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. It's also not Old Republic. An AAT is not Old Republic, but it is tan. And Lego has also done that. I think this is Old Republic. I'm pretty sure it is. So your next hint is that I would have to get a custom figure for it. That's probably not much of a hint because it's any of these things I'm gonna have to get custom figures for. I'm starting to run out of like actual figures that I can use for a lot of these ships because they're getting pretty obscure. What do you mean Lego doesn't make any Fell Empire Star Wars figures? Why the heck not? You lost me at Old Republic. All right, so this will be for the Moldy Crow. Kyle Katarn's ship in, I think it's Old Republic. I don't think it's Knights of the Old Republic. I think it's just Old Republic. Kyle Katarn was a kind of a gray Jedi-ish person. I don't remember the story too much. But he had two ships. He had the Moldy Crow and the, I want to say Ravenclaw, but I don't think that's right. So there's going to be a lot of ships that come. So one of the ships, this is from the Old Republic. Which is weird because the minifig is legit. Like this was an actual Lego set, this actual fighter. And that's what this minifig is from. So that's an Old Republic. They actually did an Old Republic ship, which is really weird of them to do. They actually did another one, the Jedi Consular. The Jedi Consular cruiser, the Marauder class cruiser. I think that's also Old Republic as well. And that's another Lego set that was actually made. And that Consular figure is kind of hard to find. I'm still lost. Where are your Expanse microfighters? They're on my list. I've got an MCRN. I've got the Rocinante with Holden. That's pretty much the only one I'm really going to do. I guess now I could do one of the Free Navy ships with Marco. I could do the, what was the big drum ship with Fred? The one that they took over from the Mormons. I could do that one. I could do the science vessel around Venus. I could do the Pierre Mao family racing ship. I could put Alex on that. Yeah, so there's a handful I could do. I guess the Rocinante to start. Are you caught up on The Expanse? I am very excited to see what happens. Are these all two-sided? Okay. I was a little bummed out about the Earth story with Amos and Peaches. I forget her name. That seemed to drag a little bit. Once everything happened, Razorback, thank you. Once everything happened on Earth, to Earth, it was fine enough to see, what's her name? The UN lady. Her reaction to everything. And her being like, no, I'm telling you. And they go, no, we don't believe you. And then it happens and they go, oh, crap, we believe you. And she's like, yes, I rule everything now. But the whole bit with Amos and going to visit that lady, Julie Mao's sister, just, it seemed weird. I don't know. You watched the entire thing over the past 2 weeks? Wow. Yeah, and I haven't started the books. I think I want to finish, since there's only one more season, I kind of want to finish the season, so I'm not comparing the two while I read it. But we'll see. Yeah, Avasaranta. I don't know how to spell her name. The lady with the voice. It's the best. When she swears at people, it's just, so delicious. And I haven't got those books because I'm also reading a bunch of Star Wars books right now. And I just ordered a Brandon Sanderson novel I haven't read, and an Ian something, the Culture series. that I just got, recommended by a friend of mine, so I just got that too. So I'm up to like here with books. Just ordered a couple new Star Wars books to read from the new High Empire stuff. Clarissa Mao, that's right. And she's got some weird, they did some genetic stuff on her, so now she's got like this crazy Super Saiyan ability where she goes feral and then kills people, but it burns her out. I'm gonna do 2 of those. It's a great show. If you haven't seen The Expanse, I cannot recommend it enough. It is so the space combat. What's up, Brick Vibe? So here, Brick Vibe, here's what I did earlier. Got your Star Scavenger and your Lambda class shuttle micros. So built those. Built them very slowly so people could see how to build them. She did that to be a terrorist. See, I don't know if that I caught that in the show. I don't know if they mentioned that in the show or if that's something you get in the book. It's very likely I missed it. A lot of the times I feel like I'm missing stuff, so. Yeah. If nothing else, The Expanse gets all the space stuff right. Like if you've ever watched Star Trek and said, you know, this is great and all, but it's like a hotel in space. Nobody's floating. There's gravity everywhere suddenly. The physics are all weird. It just nails it. It's so good. And the acting's really good too. That's the thing that gets me. Like Drummer. Oh, Drummer is amazing. I like everybody. I'm a little bummed about Cass Anvar and what happened to him, or the incidents. I won't say what happened to him. The incident around him. It's kind of a bummer, but yeah, I want to go back and watch it again and just go, oh, that's what that meant. Because I think when I was watching it the first time, I mean, thinking back now to like the whole everything to do with Miller, I'm thinking back now, I'm like, oh my God, there was like that whole thing with Miller and him investigating, and it's just really good. Very, very good, very good. It's also the little things, like it's not just gravity, it's like all the cultural things with the belters and all the, like, this is obviously how everything would have evolved in a couple hundred years. I mean, it's just really well thought out. Can't recommend it enough. I think I've recommended it to a couple people who were like, yeah, I tried it and I couldn't get into it. I'm like, how do you not get into that? You just must hate sci-fi. We're getting about to the end of this. I guess I can finish this thing. He does a cameo. Where does he do a cameo? I would have recognized him. Unless he was an alien or something. Because I remember seeing some bits on his channel, on his YouTube channel, where he he talks to the creators and he does some builds and stuff with them, or it's just so fun to see him actively do stuff, and his one-day builds are a lot of fun. He's just seems like a great guy. I'm a little sad not to see him and Jamie interacting anymore, but I get it. I don't think they were the best of friends. The science ship. Oh, really? Was he? Was he like the first crew or the one that got shredded? Savage Industries. There was only one ship around Venus, right? I probably did recognize it, and then I probably, because that was a while ago. If it was the one from last time, it was like 2 seasons ago or something, before, like the end of the 2nd season maybe. Maybe it's just been a while and I forgot. Well, everybody wish me luck. I'm trying to get my money back from these scammers on Facebook. Jerks. I mean, I feel like I'm literally out like $150 from this whole endeavor. I mean, $40 I can swallow and chalk it up to me being a naive simpleton, but ugh. Oh, the other one crashed. That's right. Yeah, one crashed and the other one got shredded. So that was the recent one, wasn't it? I'll have to go back and watch. That said, if anybody has a line on getting either a cheap Sith TIE fighter or Grievous's fighter, let me know. I'm one of these guys that I don't care about the boxes, just as long as it's complete. If you've got like it disassembled in a plastic bag, but all the pieces are there, that's fine with me. I'll find instructions. We know a person in our lug that used to have a store, still has it online, but a storefront to go with it that sold sets like that, where it's just the instructions and all the parts. They were still older, harder to find sets, so they were still kind of expensive, but it was kind of cool to be able to go in and just say, I don't care about the box. I just want to build it. And then I'm going to take it apart for pieces. You parted out a Grievous fighter. Did you like buy it and then just part it out? Or did you get all the pieces for it and then build it? Because I don't mind building it once. I know it's... The sets that I want right now, the Night Buzzard and Grievous's Starfighter and the Sith TIE Fighter, I only really want to get mostly because of the figures, but also I just want something to build, right? I want a Star Wars set to build. But they're stupidly overpriced. Stupidly overpriced. All 3 of those. And the Night Buzzard apparently is a garbage, like it's one of the, I hear is one of the worst sets they've ever done. Like it's really simple and hollow and not a whole lot to it and kind of not fun to build. Kind of like, well, that's sad. But whatever. Tired of it collecting dust. Ugh. I have to dust all my stuff pretty soon, I'm sure. It's been sitting for a while. All right, y'all. Well, it's 9:30. I'm not going to finish this tonight. I'll finish this on my own time later. But thanks, everybody, for being here. And, yeah, wish me luck on all my fights with Facebook scammers and whatnot. And I'm sure I'll talk about it online somewhere. But I'll keep you posted. Thanks, everybody, for coming by and saying hello. And thanks, everybody, for the good wishes on... us getting water and electricity back from this week. It was kind of bizarre and scary. Yeah, I mean, do it. At least it wasn't a Nigerian scammer. Might as well have been. But you guys have a good night, and yeah, I'll see you guys. Hopefully I'll have the Porsche. Maybe the Porsche will come in by Sunday, and we can start building that on Sunday, and we'll go from there. So have a good night, everybody, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.